welcome back to the Earn by Experience podcast. I'm Ben Browse. This is episode 4. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate everyone's likes, shares, subscribes, everyone on Instagram and Facebook and all that jazz. So thank you. This episode we had Dillon Harrington on. He's actually Dallas's brother, so that was cool to get to know him a little bit more and what he's doing. He's an avid outdoorsman. He's offshore fisherman. We're approaching hunting season coming up here pretty quick, so we're mid-August now. It was interesting to have him on and chat about deer season coming up and food plots and all that jazz. So hope you guys enjoyed the episode. One of the things that I wanted to mention is I hope you guys can bear with us. I've changed some things around and I added a second camera, and in doing that, I don't know if I hit a wire or what, but we had some interference in the main audio, so we're gonna have to deal with just the camera audio for this episode. So I hope you guys can deal with it. So I just want to give you a quick disclaimer. It's not my favorite thing to do, but there was interference in the audio and that's just not doable. So we're going to rock the camera audio and go from there. So hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and let us know what you think in the comments. Thanks. I'm pumped you're back in the studio, dude. So we got Dallas. Yeah, man. Dallas Harrington and we got Dillon Harrington.
Yeah.
So we're back in action.
Ready to roll.
Yeah, I'm pumped. And what's cool to me is White Marlin just wrapped up. And I was watching some of the videos on YouTube a little bit ago. But I'm hoping to dive in like your background to like bring it forward to where you're at now. So one of the things that I saw a while back and I was thinking of, I wanted to bring up, was the article in the bow shop that it was a youth bow hunter shout out. Yeah. Before any of it even popped off. I think that was cool as hell. I was just browsing through there one day and I saw it and I read it and I was like, that was cool. It's like the local Gazette or whatever. Mm-hmm. I mean, you guys were what, 11 or 10?
I was probably 10 or 11. He was probably
9 or something.
Yeah. Before
I was shooting a bow. I think the I don't even know if it was mine. It was like back here, right? Or is that him? Is there? It's a picture of me, right?
I think so.
It's both of us.
It's both of us, but I'm sure yours,
I know mine's like this.
I'm sure yours was right. Mine probably wasn't. But
I think I'm wearing Dad's like a giant black Matthews sweatshirt.
Yeah, I forgot that was even
I don't know.
in the shop until you were standing there reading it.
What was that for? Someone at Whitetail Outpost did it? Came down there?
I can't remember. Who knows?
A rainy day. I don't know.
No, it wasn't a rainy day. Because I don't even remember a rainy day,
that.
really, other than driving by it.
I just think it's cool that before, I mean, I didn't know you guys that well when I read it, but at the same time I was like, well, that's cool. I mean, it was like, it started super early for you guys. Mm-hmm. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, it makes sense where they're at now. And you guys are in the 30s now, so it's like,
22, 23 years for me.
That's nuts.
Well, maybe before, I don't know when I started shooting a bow, but I know I shot my first deer with a bow at 9, so I was probably 11 then, but I don't know when I started shooting. It must have been 8 or 9. I'm sure I shot for a year or so before actually hunting, but the first deer was 9.
Wow. 9 years old.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It didn't hit it good, but I had it right in the butt.
Really? The artery?
Yeah.
Nice.
We were just talking about that. I didn't even shoot with my dad, actually.
You were Sonny?
I shot my first deer with my dad with a muzzleloader. I was 8 or 9, like at 10 yards. He was holding it and I was holding it.
I think I was in the stand with you.
No, that was a different story. That's a better one, but this one's pretty good. It was muzzleloaders are heavy. I'm 9 years old, 70 pounds, whatever. He's on a lock on here and I'm on a ladder, and the deer came across the golf course. The piece that we're hunting is right in Berlin, but there's only like 3 clumps of trees in there. It's like maybe 15 acres total. 3 5-acre blocks, something like that. And the thing came across the golf course and he had a corn pile or whatever. And he was helping me hold the gun. And because I can't hold that thing. And he can't see through the scope. It had a scope. And I just remember putting it right on its target shot. That was my first one. But my first deer with a bow was actually with Sonny Pace. He's, I don't know, mid-70s now.
Yeah.
I thought he was mid-70s then. But I guess he was in his 50s. It's crazy. He's the same person. But he's like a really big... he's what they used to... I don't know if not many people know, but they call the Merkel men. There's a group of older guys that used to hunt Asti strictly with traditional equipment. Yeah.
Okay.
There's articles about it. I don't have it, but it's in his house. I was there probably 2 months ago and I saw it. But they hunt Asti with traditional bows. He's killed probably 4 or 5 good stags with a recurve, and then a couple with a gun. But he used to hunt our place with me, take me hunting, and I remember I guess my dad I was shooting 32 pounds, a little PSC Spider, and he would help me rip that thing back. And it was so slow. What I think was on behind the shoulder, but as though she turned. I mean, it was so long ago, I might be wrong, but this is what I remember. I remember stuff pretty well, but I pulled the trigger, and she turned, and when the deer's eating, and he turned like this, turned pretty fast, and it hit her right in the hind quarter. But perfect. We were just talking about that, either that hunt or not long before that, about shooting them there, and they just don't go far at all.
Wow. And
that thing just like lobbed. It was only 15 yards. It lobbed right in there, and she ran like 100 yards across the field and went like 10 yards in the woods and died. But that was my first one at 9, I'm pretty sure, or 10. But yeah, it's been a long time now.
That's awesome. I can't imagine being 9 years old. I wish I was exposed to archery way sooner.
Yeah, I think I was doing, like, now my kids, I've got my 3-year-old shooting it's a suction cup bow, but like I put a real arrow on it, and I took the fletchings off because it shoots through the riser, a little hole in the riser, so I ripped the fletchings off, and he's shooting like a gold tip 340 or something. Like 30, it's something, one of my friends is like 30 inches long. That kid cameras, he left it at the house, or I found in the woods, someone missed a target. And I ripped the fletching off, so he shoots it like for me to you.
That's cool.
But he shoots one, and then Lane shoots like a Daisy, I think, like Daisy BB gun, like that company makes a little compound too. He can't get it all. It has like a valley and everything, but he can't get that far. He just kind of gets it to, or he's left-handed. He gets it to here, and then just when he's ready, he holds it, but then he just pulls it more and flings it like this.
That's
and,
cool.
But he shoots it too. But I don't remember doing that when I was that young shooting. I mean, I wouldn't remember, but I don't think I got into it like I'm getting these kids in it. So it's interesting to see how they'll pick it up.
Yeah.
If they was shooting like 6 or 7 with a compound.
I think that's badass, dude.
Probably not that young, but
Yeah, I was thinking about that because Brody's 6. I think his draw length's like, he's got a little mission Raddick. It's like 17 or 18 inches.
yeah, they can't get 34 pounds. Levi can barely get 34
No,
actually.
But even at his draw length, they're trying to hold the bow up, and the string angle comes across their body. It's just hard for them to get it all put together. But he still shoots target.
Yeah.
He hits the target from like, I don't know, 10 yards. The big block target. He's not hitting an X, but at 10 yards. So I think just even that, just doing it from that young age, even if they're not getting dialed in yet.
Right.
Like you said, the muscle memory.
Just doing it, or getting that spark of like, this is so cool. And it's a skill. It's like playing pool, or I don't know, like it's or darts, whatever. To me, I don't know. It's where you have to tap into your mind a little more, and it makes you think a little more critically too at a young age. I think personally, but I think that's killer, man.
Oh, this is funny. Sorry, I want to bring this up. Brody was in my shop the other day, and there was a crossbow that I'm restringing, and he looked at me and he said, "Dad, what kind of gun is this?" Sorry, I had to say that. That's nothing against all you crossbow hunters. I just thought it was hilarious.
Dude, I saw it in there too. That's the first thing I said. Is it looks like a gun?
Yeah, it was super
that's
old.
really old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I guess
the limbs are probably this one, but
It's literally a gun with limbs on
it's
it.
probably more durable than some of the new ones now.
No doubt about it. I mean, especially the stories I've heard.
Yeah, but that was hilarious.
The one you're talking about, you told us my first year, you missed a button buck on a corn pile like 20 yards with a gun. And it was running away. We didn't know it was a button buck. And I shot it with a slug on it mid-run. I don't know how. I did, though. At like,
I remember that.
I think I was 12. And running, somehow. It was the same hunt that before that. There was a good one. We were all, me, you, Dad, were in a 2-man at Andy's farm on Old Ocean City or whatever that road is, Liberty Town. It was behind us like 20 yards. And it was a good, like, I don't know, whatever, 120 each deer. We were that age. And we couldn't turn to shoot it, or it was your turn to shoot, you couldn't turn, and then I couldn't either, he got away. But then the button buck came out, and somehow I shot on the run, and it was a button buck. That was fun.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was funny. But, yeah, so obviously bow hunting and whitetails are your biggest thing now. But growing up here in the Eastern Shore, take us through, like, all you did when you were younger. So you started shooting a bow, you said you shot your first deer at 9. but also, I don't think we talked about this the other day, but obviously some people know you surf a lot, but you're also really good at skating. And then now you fish as well, which you're kind of in and out of, but the skating and surfing thing was also very big at a young age too, right?
The skating thing was the biggest. It was every day, all day. I probably should have kept skateboarding, but Dad always used to say, skating will never stick, surfing will. I was like, yeah, okay. Like, I don't know. I guess, everyone thinks skaters are pumps, whatever. It's that stigma about it. So he was just like, it'll never stick. I was like, yeah, right. I would skate every day. And I was pretty good.
Yeah, you went to Woodward, right?
And I went to Woodward for a couple years.
But you were in like the highest class.
Yeah, the advanced for that age, 12-year-olds or whatever it was. Maybe younger than that. But I was skating pretty good, and but then we just started surfing. And I don't know why I did what he said would happen. I kind of eased out. I think I didn't want to get hurt. That's what it was. That's where, because when I was younger, I didn't really think about it. But as I got older, I was like, man, I'm getting hurt, twist my ankles, and I know it could be worse. So then I started surfing. But yeah, I was pretty good at it. I don't know. It was fun, and I still can get on a skateboard and skate right now, but it's just not. I don't know. I can't do it because it's kind of like golfing. Like, I've golfed like 3 times, and it's awesome. I love it. I don't know. And my dad just say the same thing. That's stupid. You never golf. What are you doing? The dumb sport. But I did it a couple times. I'm like addicted to it, but I can't because I have too many other hobbies. But like, I like it a lot because it's very mechanical, just like shooting your bow. Like, it's all about the mechanics. Hitting a baseball. I played baseball too. Obviously, Dallas did. It's all about the mechanics. And I like to perfect that kind of stuff. And it's so hard that it makes you so mad, and you're just like, how do I figure this out?
Then you have to dedicate the time to go all in, though.
Yeah, and I'm all in or nothing.
Right.
Kind of.
I
guess I say that, but not really, because surfing, we'll get to that. But like, I was all in skating, that went away, and then it was surfing, and I dabble, and I still dabble in it, but I surfed competitively for a little bit, and then that kind of, the deer hunting or bow hunting, archery, that all trumped everything. But I still definitely surf. I just don't like once September comes, it's over as far as the surfing for me until February hits, and then most of the hunting's done until turkey season, and I'll start surfing again. But I just can't go between the two. There's not enough time, especially now with family, kids and stuff. Even when I didn't have a family, it was hard to do both. But now it's like I gotta just put my head down and focus on one thing, and the one thing I love the most is the bow hunting, So that's where I'm at now. But
I totally get that. I feel like coming into deer season, I try to think about like July and August, where I'm like try to get as much time with the family as I can.
With you know what's about to happen.
Yeah, because you're going to be in the stand, until you get some success. So,
yeah.
I don't know. At least when you're sitting there, one of the things that I think about last year, the year before, it's like you're sitting there thinking about your kids and your family. It's like, man, I don't know, a lot of thoughts going through your head, but that can distract you from making, the right judgment calls, or leaving the stand early because you miss them or something. So there's a lot to that too.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've been like at work or doing something with the kids where like I don't even know, at a like in Berlin, walking through Berlin for like what's it called?
Festival,
yeah, some sort. Yeah, farm car. Yeah, something like that. And you're like, man, it's October. It's 1:00 or 3:00, and I should be like
heading to the
stadium. What am I doing? But then I'll have the times where I'm like, all right, I'm going, and I'll like weasel my way out of the house to get it done, to go. And then I get in the tree, and I'm like, dang, what am I? It's not even that good. Like, this is all the stuff I dreamt up, like where I want to be, if it's on Aztec or wherever, Cedar hunting. I'm like, I want to be here, but like nothing's happening at that time. Maybe later in the night or maybe the next day, but like it's not all. It's almost like, especially like when we're marlin fishing, I'm dreaming. I love that too, but I'm dreaming about. Most guys at bow hunter are like thinking about or talking about deer hunting because it's right around the corner. So I feel like you always dream this stuff up and think about it, and that's almost more fun to me. It might sound bad than actually hunting because it can be boring. When it happens, it's great, right? But like, you just think about, I want to go here, I want to scout this place, or I want to hunt this, or
the process.
Yeah, the process is like like for me, I like that more than just talking about it. I don't know why, but obviously I like the hunting part and shooting my bow and killing a deer. But it's kind of crazy how you end up there and you're like, oh, it's not all at the moment. It's not all what you thought it was going to be. And you're like, dang, I could be home or doing this, or your wife sends you a picture of the kids doing something. Wow, cool. I'm sitting here sweating, and
Dude,
every deer within 800 yards or a mile smells me.
I'm so happy that I'm not the only person that has those thoughts.
It's horrible.
That's something that I don't really talk about it, or I don't, not. It's kind of nice to hear though that I'm human. Like that's probably every dude out there. You're sitting there thinking about it all summer long, the food plot and all this stuff, and you do all this stuff to lead up to that moment, and you're sitting there and you're like, man, I freaking should be at home doing something.
It makes it better when you know there's nothing even near you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm really stupid right now.
Yeah.
Is his mic too close, or you think he's good?
No, I think it's great.
Okay. Cool.
So.
Yeah, and then get into.
I don't even know where we're at. We were talking about.
So we were talking about you surfing, and then you said that whitetail trumped everything. So from surfing competitively, then you went to Flagler College, where you were on the surf team there, and then going to college, and then kind of where you were when you came back from college and what you're doing then.
I guess surf competitively at school, and I was actually more serious about it there because I'm in Florida. Like, I wasn't expecting to hunt, but I did meet one of my best friends who I started hunting down there, so it kind of pulled me away and fishing a little bit. But I was surfing a lot down there. Didn't know really what I wanted to do. I was studying business marketing, but I graduated and came home, and I was parasailing as a mate. And then I was like, all my friends fished, like all my good friends fished, and I was like, my dad didn't really, he fished a little bit, but he wasn't into it. Like, he wasn't a mate, he wasn't into it like I ended up being. But I was like, dang, this is cool. Like, everyone's doing it, and I think I like it. I mean, I've seen a couple white models or whatever, I want to learn. I like sport fish boats. Like, I like art, and like a sport fish boat is art. Like, I like the boats. In the beginning, I was more obsessed with the boats and like just how cool they were over fishing. Now I'm like, the boats are cool, I build them, but like, whatever, let's just go fishing. I want to catch a lot of fish. Like, this is cool. I don't care what I'm on. Just put me on a piece of a 2x4. Like, I just want to go fishing. So I came home and I went fishing with one of my good friends, Michael Murray. He was a mate on the Tighten Up in high school and for I forget how many years. But him and I always talked about, him and I grew up inshore fishing together. And he was like, come on, or I asked him if I could ride along. So I learned, I like hooked a white one during the Port Girls Open, which is right now. My first one with him in a tournament. I hooked two, I think. He'll probably say I didn't hook anything, but that's fine. I hooked two and we won out of 6 or 8, I think we call it. And from then on, I rode along every time I wasn't parasailing. I took off parasailing to ride along. And then at the end of the summer, Jason Genther, the captain, was like, hey, Todd Burbage, he's looking for a captain just to run the boat in and out. He'll fish it and just keep the boat clean, kind of captain-made deal. So I got hired by Todd right out of school pretty much. And then I left that job, worked with Willie Zimmer on Absolute Pleasure, and then started getting into fishing. That was my career. I was, year-round fishing. And actually, Willie's operation, Absolute Pleasure, was in the fall. His boss had our boss had a hunting farm in Princess Anne, so we would pretty much be the guide, Willie and I, for him down there. So it was kind of the perfect scenario: hunt in the winter or fall, and then fish all summer. And if I get stuff done on the boat, I go surfing. There's ways, but I was, like I said, there's too much going on. I wasn't really thinking about the surfing. I was thinking about the fishing and the hunting, even in it was the summer. That. Where did I go after that? Oh no, then Johnny Duffy started building sport fish boats, and I would ride along with him every now and then as a second mate or just helping out, whatever. And I told him, I was like, look, I'm kind of done with fishing. I want to be. You never know, these jobs, they come and they go. I mean, you have a great job, but you're at the mercy of the boat and where the boss wants to be. You could be in Mexico tomorrow, Costa Rica, whatever, and not be home. I wanted to have a family here and be here, like know where I'm at. So I was like, if you start a business here, like building boats, I want to be in. So I was like the second employee. I guess No Way, a guy from El Salvador, and then Scott Hoffman from here. They were the first, but other than them, it was just me, Johnny, and them two. Brought Parker Kreppel along, and we helped finish the 26-foot boat that Johnny's building, or was building. and then we started the 64 Bill Fisher Duffy boat, and then I was there for 6 or 7 years, and built boats and fished a little bit, and that's kind of where I'm at now. Now I'm working with my dad's at the stores and wine racks, but it kind of went from surfing to just riding along fishing to fishing for a full-time job and then building boats.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Did you start out working at that new facility, or did they have a little shop before they got
No,
to the giant place?
We were in actually this it's his property, but in the backyard of the house that the Duffys rent out, or Johnny rents out, in West City, in 20 by 30 or 40 little pole barn. So we finished a 26-foot boat, and then in the process of Johnny drawing up and figuring out how he wanted to build a 64, he built a 40 by 70 pole barn behind it, and that's where we started that. So it went from 3 guys to now there's 70 employees there, I think, or something crazy like that. Building 3 60 to 80 footers at a time instead of a 26 and then a 60.
That's insane. So they're building 3 at a time?
Yeah, he tries to do 3 at a time. Right, I think they just started a 3rd one right now, but past month I think it might have been 2. But yeah, it's usually 3 at a time, and so it's scheduled so one finishes a year.
Mm-hmm.
It takes like 2 years to finish a boat, or 18 months wants to be at. I think it might be like 20 right now. It all depends, but how the size of the boat and what's going on. But he tries to pump out 1 every year. That's what it was when I was there. We would finish 1 in the summer, and then it usually lined up in the spring. So the summer they could fish the owner, because most people are getting them from here. I guess there's people from all over, but they're going to be fishing here. So yeah, we pump 1 out a year and then be working on 2 in the building. Just kind of, it just works out best that way.
Yeah.
Now with 70 guys, he can do that.
That's
I think he wants to be like 80 or 100 one day to do it even faster. Maybe he doesn't want to. That's what a lot of boat builders that pump them out that are really good boats do. Kind of 80 guys to 100.
To 100 people?
I think that's where they are in North Carolina, certain builders.
That's insane.
70's probably fine for what he's doing.
Yeah.
It seems like it's working out right now.
Yeah, the Bill Fisher, I didn't realize that was, you said it was the first boat completed in that new building?
Mm-hmm.
No kidding. So they started it in the full building, and then they moved
we
it
built
over to-
everything actually. And the resin just stays high. It just doesn't shape right. But so yeah, it's all foam, Kusa board, green board, which are composite materials, and then wood.
And you said it has to set up, or it has to cure?
Well, yeah, you do like
It
try and do a I mean, because it's called print. Like I don't know if you've seen. I'm trying to think of.
I guess my main question was, I've seen boats, like you mentioned that one place, Titan, I think, or whatever, up the road.
Yeah.
And they have stuff sitting outside. I was like, maybe they just run out of space, but it sounds like they might be letting it cure outside in the sun.
It depends on how much. They don't have much room up there. Maybe I think they built some more space this time now, but yeah, you get it to like a top coat or a primer and a finish primer, and you put it outside so it can post cure.
Okay.
Because the sun is, especially if it's black or a dark color. I think we were doing gray for the house. It would get it so hot, so then it would print and show any imperfections, and then you come back with, your fairing and sand it back out and super build prime it or finish prime, whatever it needs as far as how bad it printed. So then that fiberglass on there is already in the fairing compound. All the paints are already like locked in, and they've cured in the sun hard once. Because if you do that and you just let it roll, it's going to print really bad. You'll see the fiberglass weave and everything. So you want to do that in the beginning, let it sit for 6 months while you're not losing time or anything, because you're working on another part of the boat. There's so many things to work on. So you might as well let it sit out there, and then when it's all said and done, you're ready to get back on that and put it back on the boat. You can refair it, and it should be cured a lot better than just doing it once,
And go through like what your, I guess, main job was there. I know you were the 3rd employee or whatever, so you've done everything. But once in your later years, what was kind of your main role?
I guess, like you said, I kind of did a little bit of everything in the beginning because we had to. There's only 3 or 4 of us. But then it got to like Parker came and Sauce and a couple people, and Parker's an amazing carpenter. He can do everything, but he took over the carpentry side, so he was like in charge of all that. And then when
Sauce was just there.
Yeah, Sauce was just there.
Shout out to Sauce.
He's gonna hate us. No, Sauce is good too. He's I would say he's the next carpenter in line when Parker doesn't yell at him.
They build everything there, like all the trim, all the
yeah, the
woods,
interior,
cabinets, all
the
that stuff.
interior is, and it's built across the bridge, and they have a finished interior crew that puts it together, and they might have to build something, but it's not like from scratch.
Gotcha.
Just because it's such a new business, and there's not people knocking at the door that can build that kind of stuff. The guys that are there are good, but that's a lot to do right out of the gate. So another company does it for other sport fish boats, and I guess Johnny's thing was, let's take that one thing. This is already so hard to do and so much going on. Let's take that off our back,
Makes sense.
get someone else to do it, and then we'll just trim it and cut it to fit. And once our guys get the experience over 10 years or whatever it takes to see how it's built and fit it, then maybe we can build a wood shop, which they might be doing now, I think, and do it all in house. But at the moment, it's just, or it was just too much on the plate and focus on got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, I've looked at the interiors and some of the pictures I've seen, and mind blowing.
They're nice.
It's one thing to have like a boat, but like those things are pieces of artwork.
Yeah, they're real nice.
It's amazing how much time and probably effort goes into building it.
Yeah, and he I think he wants to focus on more of the mechanics and the finish on the outside, and actually focus on what the boat's built for, which is catching a lot of fish or killing big fish and all that. Whereas interior's nice, but it's kind of like a Chevy or a Ford pickup truck. Like, you want something that can go through mud, pull something, haul a lot of stuff, be pretty nice, but nothing crazy on the inside. You don't need all these bells and whistles for hauling a dang trailer. A lot of the trucks now have all that stuff, but you don't need it. Yeah. And he's trying to put his eggs in the basket of, we're trying to look really nice, kill stuff, and get the job done. Maybe one day we'll get the interiors all in house and do it, even though they look great, but they're not like all the way they're not in house, so it's not fully custom or as to, I guess, the finish that someone else might want, because we're focusing on something else, or they are focusing on something else. I think the real joy was a high gloss finish that looked really good. Like, it's really nice, like rosewood. It's pretty, but I think he's eventually gonna have it all set up where it's all in house and really like dialed in. But they got it nice now.
Dude, I saw the billfisher in the harbor before the white marlin kicked off.
Mm-hmm.
That thing is beautiful out on the outside.
Yeah,
the glistening in the sun, the white melting your eyes out of your skull.
Yeah,
it's pretty badass.
Nice. They just got the hull repainted.
We didn't get into kind of like what you did or what your main thing was at the second half.
Sorry, after in the beginning we all did everything, but then I kind of took up on the finished paint side of things, or the finish in general, but mostly the paint. So everything after fiberglass, so like fairing, drywall putty, fairing compound, all the way up to the last lid, hinge, whatever, gas shock put on the boat, kind of went through me. Every lid on the boat, I either built. Well, I have hands in every lid. I don't know if I did some of them I built from the beginning after the CNC cut it. But I would have my hands in it to see where, because the lids are like a pain in the butt. They gotta, your margins, your gap has to look right.
When you say a lid, explain it to me, because I don't really know what you're talking about. Like a hatch that you're lifting up?
Yeah.
Put like
any storage lid. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Parker kind of did that part of it because it was teak, but he did all the teak, finished teak. He's really good at that. He's in the carpentry, the bulk, like the beginning carpentry, and then also in the finished carpentry as far as teak, and he does paint now too. He does a little bit of everything, but I guess
the seats lift up like
a seat in the mezzanine, like that's called a shore power door, like where you connect your power from the mainland when you're at the dock, like that door. That's kind of one of the hardest ones. Shape, and I don't know, but anything like that, the fly bridge, all the seats up there, the benches.
Okay.
Some boats have freezers up there and in the cockpit, and so everything like that. They're really hard to, because you got to start from the beginning. It's got to be right from the beginning as far as how it's mounted, and if it's got to be, it can't be warped or anything. So we ran into issues with that, but we would fix it. And just, you got to get on it in the beginning, or else down the road it just magnifies and it makes it harder. So I everything was finished, and then I do the big paint jobs. A couple other guys did too, but I would spray the paint on the halls, the house, the fly bridge, all that, the cockpit, with another guy, or sometimes they would do it and I would be doing something else. At the end, it was kind of like all the lids I would be focused on, someone else would be doing the painting because I was leaving, and I would get backed up with lids for the next boat that I was trying to get set up. Even though I was leaving, I wanted to set the guys up so they knew what was going on for the next boat, so they didn't have to go through the whole process that I mean, you still have to learn it, but I messed up so many times trying to figure out how to mount this stupid lid that a CNC cut, and then another guy put the framing, the gutters on, and you got to match all that. And it's kind of a pain in the butt, but they got it down now so they can get it to close enough so you barely have to sand it to make it fit. I don't know, it's just a lot to it, but
Yeah. Are all the boats that they make? I mean, I'm getting off topic, but I'm just curious. Are they all the same? Are they different? I mean, are they all
things
one
are the
off?
same. No, yeah, I mean, pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so
The
you're
past
not
couple have been, yeah.
you're not cutting the same deck lid or whatever twice. They're always different. Like when you go to the next boat, it's not the same thing. It's just totally
No, I
different.
don't think any are the same, actually. They're similar. I mean, one is 6 inches longer, has a little more shape or whatever, but they're close. But yeah, the concept's the same, but yeah, it's not like you can be like, oh yeah, cut another one of this.
Yeah, or the cut file's the same on the CNC. You just go to boop,
Well, the
press
gutters are like for where the water drains on the lid on the boat side, and the lids. They've changed that a little bit too, I guess, but most of them are the same depth of the gutter and the shape and all that. So they just say one's 40 inches wide, the next one might be 48. Same gutter, same thing. Stretch it out on the computer.
Gotcha.
I mean, I don't know how that works, but they just draw something, pull something with a mouse and
Magic.
press print. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I know
Coleman's
all about
magic, Tim's magic. Yeah,
So yeah, getting back to, you went into that because you wanted to be here, because you stated multiple times whitetail kind of trumps everything and all the hobbies and everything that you had growing up. So when you were fishing on the Absolute Pleasure, you wanted to go to work for Johnny, but you actually had a job. Just trying to like relay to the audience how much deer hunting and bow hunting means to you, because you had a mate job that you were offered after the Absolute Pleasure that you turned down because you wouldn't be here during the fall.
Yeah, I forget what boat. I got offered a job, I guess, to make a good amount of money at the time, or even now, I guess. But I was going to be away from home, and the money didn't really mean anything to me because I don't want to live on a boat and be traveling. I mean, it sounds great to a lot of people, and it's fun, but I could be in the coolest place in the world that everyone dreams about going. I'd be like thinking about, I don't know, put a camera up on public land or doing something dumb here. Like, I don't know. That's why I like doing that more. Surfing here. I've been in Indonesia surfing, like the best place in the world, and be wanting to get home. People are like, you're crazy. You're on vacation. I'm like, I don't like vacation. I've been here. I don't know when I'll get to that stage in life where I want to be somewhere, but yeah, I just wanted to be here to be able to go hunting or scout or do whatever, and ultimately have a family here and be here. Just have something steady, because those jobs are great. You can make a lot of money but do cool things, but they never really last. You just be boat hopping forever. Some people have it made they can stay, but at home or wherever their home is, but it's kind of hard to find those sort of jobs in this or that industry.
Yeah.
Now, when you talk about like whitetail and stuff, I know you mentioned here. Do you hunt anywhere else? Is it you're just addicted to it here? Like, do you hunt in other states or anything?
I've hunted a handful of places, but I kind of am thinking about here when I'm there.
Yeah, okay.
I think,
You're a homebody.
Yeah.
I also think like he would rather put in the work and do it himself. Like a lot of people that'll go out of state, it's like, hey, go sit in that tree there, or do this, or do
Yeah, if you do it yourself and another state, that's cool. I
Yeah,
like
it's
doing
different.
that, but still,
so much time to do that. Though.
yeah, you only get a amount of time, and then you're like, dang, you're like pressured to make it happen, or like I got 6 days, I gotta do this. Whereas here, it's hard enough to kill one, and you have what 80 days, 90 days, or 100. I don't even know what it is, but yeah, it's nice to kill one at home or hunt at home, and there's just there's big deer in the Midwest or everywhere, but to me, shooting 140 each year, 50 or 30, whatever here is just as cool as shooting a good one somewhere else, especially if you do it all yourself,
Yeah, I agree. We have some big deer here.
Yeah, there's some really big deer here.
People are surprised. A lot of people come into my store and they like look at deer on the wall or whatever. Not that they're that big, but they're just like, you guys have deer like that here? I'm like, yeah, dude, you not see all the fields and everything you drive by?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they just think of Ocean City as the beach. That's it.
Yeah. It is pretty wild. When I showed pictures of my deer that I got last year.
All right, dude, relax.
No, I was just saying, I'm like, for our area, it's a big deer,
Yeah,
and they're looking at it and they're like, no, that's a big deer anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
Yeah,
inspiring
thanks,
though. Like, we're such a tiny little spot on the map, but we have everything everyone else has. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, there might not be as many. Like, there's a handful, 150 to, I'm sure there's 200 deer within 20, 30 miles of us right now. Maybe one. But the difference is in Iowa or somewhere like that, there's, you could go around and watch 100 120s or 130s here in Nix County probably if you drove around all night one afternoon this time of year. But like in Iowa, you could go around and see 30 or 40 150s or 60s or bigger. They're here that size, but not. There's like a tenth of what's out there. That's the only difference. But to me, that makes it more like magical when you see one or shoot one, because you're like, dang, there's not many here. I guess it's like shooting a 200-inch deer there. If you shoot 140 or 50 here, or 50 or 60, whatever, it's just hard to do.
Also, we're such a small dot on the map, I think there's something to the ratio of big deer to the amount of hunters too. There's got to be some kind of factor in that, or in pressure too. So.
Yeah, they also have, it used to be every 4 years in Iowa, you have to get points to draw. Now it's every like 6 to 7. So, the out of state pressure is not there. So
they don't even like hunting out there. They're all farmers. It's crazy. I mean, you see hunters out there. We've been there once, but they're just kind of trying to survive. I feel like they're in the middle of nowhere, but there's a giant deer. That's the last thing on their mind. Whereas everyone here is like working, or summer so busy, they're whatever, water sports and restaurants. Everyone has business or works for someone like that where they're trying to make that money in the 3 or 4 months. And then in the winter, they're like, they just want to hunt. They made their money. Or they may have a year-round kind of job, but a lot of stuff's seasonal here. But out there, it's like they're just trying to make it. So the deer's the last thing on their mind.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think about it like that.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. I was like, we're in the middle of nowhere right now. They're just farmers.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so now you kind of have like, I guess, the best of both worlds, where you live here, you obviously hunt, surf when you can, and then you fish on the record with Bobby and Cody during tournaments, right?
Yeah,
Just fish away marlin.
Yeah, so it works out good because I got a little more time to do that with Bobby and Cody. They let me ride along when it's good or in tournaments. So I kind of get to do what I wanted to do anyways, which is fish a little bit, but I don't have to be in Mexico tomorrow or wherever,
No commitments.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you guys so you just fished away marlin, and then you're about to fish mid-Atlantic, right?
Yeah,
and
this coming, what's today, Friday?
And
this
what?
coming week.
Bobby and Cody the day after the white marlin caught, like, what they estimated at, like, it looked way bigger in the picture. Like, they estimated at 73 pounds. And
the numbers, like, there's a calculation you can do. It's
but
like,
to me, it looked like 75.
It
I actually showed it to Ronnie Fields the other day when he was in my shop. He was like, dude, that was...
Yeah, I mean, the calculation's never right, but it gets you close, I guess, depending on how the fish looks. But the math he did was like 73 or something pounds. The first bite the day after the tournament.
That's frustrating.
Yeah, it's something like that all the time.
Did you guys have any luck at all?
We caught 6 out of
8
bites maybe during the whole tournament. We did okay. I mean, we caught fish for what it was, and not many people. A couple boats caught like 5, 6 a day on certain days, and a couple blue marlin. But other than that, it wasn't red hot, so we did pretty well. Our numbers were good for. I didn't have looking at it when some guys don't turn in their catch reports for the releases if they know they're not going to win or be in the top 10, but I think we're like 30th out of whatever boats. I don't know. I might be wrong, or 20th. Something like that. Decent for what was going on.
So is there you get, I don't know how the tournament exactly works, but if you have releases, that puts you in a bracket too?
Yeah, there's a bunch of different divisions, but there's a release division. That's what, like, yeah, catching a big one and winning all that money is cool, but yeah, I'd obviously, if I won or we won, I would be happy, right? But like, if you don't catch the most fish, like, it's a competition every day. Just fun fishing to me is like, you want to catch more than anyone, because that shows, like, I guess the best fisherman, the best boat, top boat, right? So if you don't catch the most, you're like, dang, I could have done that. Or, like, I wanted to win. You didn't win, even though you won. You may win a lot of money and win, but you didn't win that side of it. So it's cool because you can. That's what I think the bill fishers are good at. Like, they go through more fish. That's like, they won, right? People are like, oh, they got lucky. And they've been getting lucky. You don't just keep getting lucky. But the more fish you go through, so they have the best of both worlds, because they're good at catching them. They catch a lot. They're usually the top boat or one of the top boats. And then they run over a big one every now and then, because they go through more fish. So you get to see more. Whereas if you only go through 5 or 6 fish versus 20 a tournament, you don't have those options. Someone could catch one fish in the tournament and be a winner. But I think that the best boats catch more, and that it just gives them an opportunity to run over a big one, you know?
Yeah, your odds are better the more fish you catch, and the more fish you catch, it's only a matter of time.
Yeah. But
so that is funny. People say it all the time, and I just shake my head. I don't know much about that whole industry, but all I know is through him, and I've been a couple times, but just when people say that about the bill fisher, I just like laugh. Like, you guys are just idiots.
Haters gotta hate.
Yeah, like,
yeah, I mean, they're
They're
good.
good.
Yeah,
you can't deny it. Like, you catch more fish,
Yeah.
so you're gonna have the better odds.
Yeah.
I watched the recap earlier.
Yeah.
On whatever the recap is, and they had, like, the day they weighed in their fish, they had like 3 or 4
Six
releases. It was like, so they were kind of choosing which they didn't bring in, maybe didn't qualify, they knew that, whatever. But that's interesting that they're just out there slaying them, and then got that big one to bring in,
Yeah.
So.
And most of the times, I feel like the person who does catch this fish does just get lucky and run over one. Like, we could have just ran over a 120 pounder, like a giant one, and caught one for 7. Yeah, I guess the same. Whatever. We could have caught one fish that was that big and won. Like, that happens. Maybe not that big, but 90 pounder, 80. I mean, they are that big. Some of them, I've never seen that. But like an 80 or 90 pounder, people do it all the time. Catch one fish or a couple and win the tournament. But recently, I feel like I just think that, and most people did, like, oh, you just got to get one fish, which you do, but like, your chances are way better if you catch a lot.
Makes sense.
But yeah, you have that division. There's a release division for small boats too, not like under 40 feet or whatever it is, and for big boats. And then there's also different, like, mahi, tuna, all that. And then also it gets confusing. A lot of people don't understand. Like, you could catch. So the bill fisher, for example, goes all in across the board for the tournament, which means there's a bunch of different Calcuttas. So they could catch a 50-pound yellowfin, right, and be in that division, and then 10 boats, small boats or whatever, 10 boats could not put all the money up for go across the board. They could catch 80, 90, 100 pounds, way bigger fish, but if the bill fisher's across the board, or whatever boat is across the board and catches the biggest fish for the boats that have been across the board, they're going to take all that money.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you don't have to get first place.
Gotcha. So that's why the payout was extremely high.
Yeah, like, someone could have caught an 80-pound white marlin on a center console and only put 30 grand in the tournament, or whatever the minimum is, and walked away with like 100 grand, and the bill fishers took 3.5 instead of 3.9, or 3.8 instead of 3.9, whatever, something like that. I don't know how it gets funky, but
that's what happened with Mike Murray.
Oh yeah, Mike.
In high school, he got second. You might not know, but he
actually. The kid who got first is in Mike's class. They went to school together. The kid who won first that year, John Davining.
Oh, John Davining, yes, Dad.
But they weren't across the board. Michael Murray's boat, the Tighten Up, was across the board. They called it an 80s. I forget exactly what way, but it was less than the We One's, the first place boat. The boat's called the We Won, and they won. But
But yeah, so the
I think
mite.
that's what it's called.
So they caught a bigger fish. It weighed more, but they got a lesser payout than the
I
guy
think
that
they
got
only
the
made-
second place for
I don't know what
fish.
they made, but not 1, 2 or whatever Mike made.
Mike, I thought it was like
Mike's
7.
good.
Whatever. Anyways, as a junior in high school, Mike.
Yeah, he was like 16 or something.
Yeah,
That's
as a
awesome.
mate.
15.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I just saw they wrapped it up and the Bill Fisher took the big white, so that was cool.
Yeah.
And there were some last minute catches though in the extra 2 days I saw come in.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick. So
But
a lot
yeah,
of fish
so
weighed in.
everything, all that, you kind of, if you had to pick one, it would be more whitetail over anything,
Yeah, probably.
no matter what. You know.
Yeah, this time here I'm into white walleye fishing, but yeah, whitetail.
Is food plots on your mind? Excuse me. Food plots on the mind?
Yeah, that's part of it too.
Dude, I'm getting fired up right now, dude.
Yeah.
I've been out working mine lately, so.
Yeah. I'm gonna plan it next week or so when I have time, but we're gonna fish this tournament, so
Yeah.
I'll be not late, but probably should have planned it yesterday.
That's what I thought
Before
too.
that rain.
I know. It looks like Saturday, according to our local forecast. Looked like rain Saturday,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna try to plan for that next weekend. But
Yeah,
I'm
no,
good.
I've been thinking about that. I've been prepping a handful of them. So we'll see. Hopefully, I got the seeds. Seeds actually coming in a week Friday. So I have to we have to unload it at your store somehow.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
Where do you get yours from?
I'm getting from Merit Seed now. It's in Berlin, Ohio, I think. A friend that plants a bunch of plots sent me some pictures and he likes it. And I used him to plant a clover and chicory plot this year, and it's like the chicory's like a foot tall, and I planted it really late too.
Wow.
So I'm just gonna try them.
Do you
See
have
if it works.
Yeah. Do you have a seed drill?
No, I like to have it drill. I just broadcast,
Okay.
but drills are pretty expensive. I think over 10 grand. You could find a used one, but
I was just curious because my next question would
that's
follow
the way
up
to
with.
plan it.
Yeah, my next question was gonna be is can you over broadcast and actually kill have the plants
With
fight
clover, you definitely can. I saw it with clover.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
say.
know.
I mean, I just go off what the book says. Like whatever. Like when I ordered from this company yesterday or the day before, I said, "What's the rate?" And they told me what it is per acre, and I'm just gonna do exactly what they said. But I'm sure there's more. You could go a little hotter or less, but yeah, you can compete. They can compete if you go too much, you know.
That's what I was thinking.
But yeah, drill is nice because you can set it for the size of your seed and how many, how much you want put down, and you don't have to. And it's actually better to not till. You can just drill right in the ground if you prep it with herbicide. Kill your stuff and don't have it too much going on. And this time of year, or your weeds are gonna stop growing as fast. It's fall plots are a lot better for that. Spring plots are hard to maintain. I mean, not hard, but it's a lot of work. But yeah, drill's the way to go.
Yeah, I always wonder if I just wing it. I'm a hillbilly out there with my little broadcaster, dude, and just let it rip.
Yeah, it's not big
So,
deal.
That's what I feel
Had
like
good
every time
success.
it works.
Yeah, I've had success. I mean, I try to eyeball it. I don't know, the rate per acre. It's not like the thing has a dial on it when I'm sitting there holding it, broadcasting it. So
Yeah,
at least
I just-
mine don't. So.
I put it on lowest, to let the least out as possible in the beginning and walk the whole plot.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't waste it. And then when I get a gauge for how much it actually put out, I'm measuring it, say I needed 10 pounds for this new plot, whatever. I'll go to, say I burn through a quarter of it with the low setting, then I'll just bump it up to whatever and make it so I can make one good lap or two good laps and get it all pretty even, because if you run out, you're done. Put too much in one area,
Yeah, you could get some grass seed or some
Yeah.
clover, finish out the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting excited though. Freaking mid August.
Yeah. It's getting there.
I think last year, I planted mine around this time, and I felt like it came in a little too hot. So I'm really not sweating getting it in right this second, because I feel like it just came in super hot. So I don't know. At least
Yeah,
that's my game plan.
Yeah, you got some time.
I think
I
so.
always planted late, actually. I planted in October, which is too late, but it worked. Not the best, but I'd rather be in sooner than later.
Yeah. Do you find some of your stuff in your mix comes in later season though, like some of the colder weather plants, or is it all just come up and then?
I'm like the oats. When I was planting, well, I'm still planting oats, but that jumps up pretty quick. But the clover takes a little bit of times to establish, especially this time of year. But the taproot gets going through. Like I'm gonna do clover soon, and it'll get going, and then in the spring it'll just blow up, especially if you frost seed into it with like a lesser rate. Yeah, it just takes a little bit, especially on a new plot. But I've really just messed with clover, oats, and I think one year I did and some rye, and then one year I had a mix. I forget, it was from Gordon. I forget what was in it. Maybe some turnips and stuff like that. But I'm just playing with clover, oats, and rye at the moment.
Okay.
I did some sunflowers, and I was trying to do corn and beans this year, but I just got too much going on. I was trying to focus on the sunflowers, yeah. They're expensive, and I wanted to make sure I did it right, so I was just focused on that, and then kind of trying to keep my clover plots clean, which was a fight, but they're okay. There's still a lot of clover in them. They're eating it, but the weeds kind of beat me to it. They're all right, but yeah, next year I'm gonna do some beans and corn.
Nice. What's the deal with the sunflowers?
Dove hunting.
That's it. They don't drop sunflower seeds for the deer or anything.
The deer will eat them, but you put a fence
up.
up.
But I put a fence in there. It's kind of counterproductive of what I want to do to kill a deer, but it's on one side of the place that we lease it. I mean, most of us hunt. I guess we hunt there, but him and my dad are into bird hunting anyways too. So they're like, oh, let's just do it. So we put it in the middle of the field. But they came up pretty well.
Yeah, they look really good. Maybe we'll have to bring you dove hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how to use a shotgun?
Barely.
Oh,
I'm honestly better with my bow than any firearm.
I know.
It's funny. Yeah, I would go. I would just go to watch and hang out.
It's fun. It's really fun. It used to be my favorite bird hunting to do, but I don't know. It's cool.
Good eating.
Yeah, they actually are. Yeah, way better than any duck.
Yeah. I've never had
I
it.
love shooting ducks, but
I'm
you gotta
not
cook
good
them
at
right.
cooking them. I'm not good at cooking them.
Yeah, people that say that, I don't know what they do, but
That's my excuse when I don't shoot a lot of ducks. I don't eat them. I'm not good at cooking them, so I don't shoot many.
We didn't shoot it. I didn't feel like it.
That's one of the things I like to ask duck hunters is, what do you cook with it? You know, and they're
It's tough.
I know they're you know what do you think the most common response I get is?
I don't eat them. Or I give them to someone.
That
Yeah, I give them
exactly.
to
But the other one is jalapeno bacon bites or something. I'm like, man, every single one of you guys do the same thing with them.
Yeah, you have to.
My one buddy Parker actually makes a really good duck roast, and like he puts it in the crock pot.
Yeah, this is good.
And yeah, I'm gonna try that this year.
Hell yeah.
But no, I mean you can make them decent. It's just not
I'm sure
great.
someone's really good at it.
Yeah.
Parker and someone else.
Yeah, Parker's good at it. But I don't know. There's so many different ways to do it.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
I like eating turkeys though. I know a lot of people wouldn't say that, but the fried nuggets and stuff,
Fire.
so good.
Dude, the recipe that you gave me?
You fry this microphone and it tastes good, dude.
I do actually remember him telling me that because I was in Florida and I caught a bunch of redfish or sheep's head or something. I was like, yeah, I made fried fish bites. They were really good. And he's like, dude, it's all they do down there is fried fish. You can make anything taste good if you fry it.
Mm-hmm.
And he is right. You really can. I actually brought deer to my in-laws. And, like, yeah, we used to eat deer all the time. They used to eat, like, fried steak, or I don't know how you do it. Like,
Country fried steak?
Yeah.
Like where they put it in flour mix?
yeah, so I'm like, dude, I'm fighting an uphill battle here. You want me to cook this tenderloin, which I can make it good, but you're used to eating fried. Like, yeah, you can make anything taste good that way. So I thought that was funny. But, yeah, going back to, you're about to fish the Mid-Atlantic, and you won the tuna tournament. I know we talked about this before, but you won the tuna tournament 6 years ago.
Yeah, something like that.
If you could win a tournament like that, the feeling of that, or shoot a 150-inch deer, which one would you?
The deer the feeling's way different and better. I'd definitely rather shoot the deer, but I mean, it's both are really cool.
Yeah.
But the deer, I think that feeling when it happens, you can't explain it.
I guess there's two different feelings.
Two different feelings, but the deer deal is. Well, I've never won like the White Barn Open, so I don't know about that. It's a little different. It's like way
we
different.
Yeah.
But
It's so funny.
when it's happening, when you're killing a fish like that tuna we killed, or just about like I've been about to kill a handful of fish that we lost or whatever, and that feeling that there's a couple million down there, or maybe 20 feet from the boat you're looking at it, it's kind of crazy too. But I never have got to kill one like a giant one or one that would win a tournament like that, so I can't actually say that. But as far as the tuna, we won like $300,000. That was crazy, but it wasn't.
Not the same magnitude as the
I don't think
white
so.
one.
I can't remember now, but like when we brought it on the boat, it was pretty crazy, but not like shoot a big deer.
Yeah, it's funny because if I ask Bob Layton that, he's gonna be like, "You guys are idiots."
He changes his mind every day. He's like, marlinfish is stupid. And the other day, he's like, dude, I can't. It's awesome. I just want a marlinfish. I'm like, what do you mean? You say you like tuna fish. What's wrong with you, dude?
He's hilarious. He'd be a good one to have on here because like he can tell his stories are so. I'm trying to think of the word.
He likes crow hunting all
Emphasize.
day.
Yeah,
Dude, come on.
yeah. He just does everything. But all right. So if you could, I don't know if I want to ask this question, but if win the Mid Atlantic or shoot a 150-inch deer because you're about to fish the Mid Atlantic.
Shoot a 150-inch deer.
I'll try not to tell Bob that.
I don't know.
Or hopefully
I
they'll
don't know.
listen.
They can't compare them. You can't compare them
They're
to.
different.
Yeah.
I think it's cool that they kind of they run parallel and then they kind of intersect, and then but you can still kind of do both. Like you know.
Hopefully, since I said that, we'll win.
That'd be killer. I hope you guys do.
That'd be crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, they do intersect, and I think that's what's different about him. He has pretty much done everything you can do in the outdoor industry or water sports or whatever like that we have to offer here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's pretty neat.
Yeah, you definitely encompass the Eastern Shore way of life for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's badass. What's back to the deer hunting thing? What's one of the most memorable mistakes you've made that you learned the most from?
Dude.
I know you made many. I know, but like anything that stands out that might be the most memorable or the biggest mistake you'd say that you learned the most from.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, because it's what makes us better. Every time I'm in the woods, I make a mistake or I walk too fast or I step on something or the wind's blowing the wrong direction. It was just a curious thought that made me think. That's what makes us all better and level up.
So many. I guess what?
No, go ahead.
I don't know. One of them is being like 1 year. He didn't score that much. I found him. I found a shed from like 3 years before, and then I found him dead 2 days later. I was trying to kill this really big one. He was probably 150 inches, 147. I mean, that's not nothing, but I had him at 9 years old from trail camera pictures from my friend Jim and I. And I was trying to kill him, but I was scared to, like where he was, the wind was, I was scared of hunting the wrong wind or diving in deep. And I was also struggling with target painting then, so I really didn't want anything to be in front of me. I would like go hunting and be scared, like that I was gonna get a shot. Like I don't even want him to walk in, or I can't even do it. So I was already like down the whole. So I'm kind of glad that he didn't show up because I probably would have not hit him right or missed him or whatever. But I wouldn't dive in and go deep to where he was. Like I knew pretty much where he lived, or in the area. You think you know where he lives, but they live in a million different beds and places, miles apart sometimes. But I was scared to dive in and get in where I think he's living or where he was spending a lot of time, and he ended up dying. And maybe if I would have just been like, all right, I'm gonna take a climb or whatever and hang and hunt in here deep, maybe he would have walked in front of me. And yeah, maybe I could have hit him perfect, got lucky. But I didn't do that, and now like I'll do some dumb stuff, hunt the wrong wind or close to the wrong wind, and just pray that he's just, because you're not, like they say, how they say you're not going to kill him on the couch, but also the more you hunt one deer or one area, the more you booger it up, but like, or they catch on to you, but sometimes you just gotta like you gotta roll. You just gotta go, because if you're not there, it's not gonna happen. He may be like chasing a doe on another property, come back and not catch your wind, and you get the shot. So, you gotta risk it for the biscuit, I guess.
Yeah,
You
that's
really
good
gotta
advice.
do it. It's easier said than done, especially if you only have one place to hunt, right? You have one big buck, you hunt 20 acres, and you have one good one come. Like, you gotta pick your days and wins and all that. Unless you've gone a million times on the right wind, it's the end of the season, and you still come when you're not there, you just go. You gotta go. But, like, you gotta pick your battles or pick what you're gonna do. If you have a lot of places to hunt, you just go, right? If you have a bunch of different deer, I never really have a bunch of different deer, but usually it's like one that I'm trying to hunt that year, if any. But yeah, if you have more options, it's easier to do that. But yeah, I definitely learned that you gotta kind of roll with it and go, or you're definitely not shooting everything or getting an opportunity. You might just see something and learn something that day that you never learned.
Yeah. Do you hang and hunt a lot of properties, or like not a lot of properties, but do you mostly hang and hunt, or you set your stands and then go to them?
I've got a couple, 2 or 3 set stands, but 95% of my hunts, even on private land, I hang and hunt. Yeah, just because if I'm not seeing anything on the cameras, not to say the camera says everything, but especially if you don't pressure, you get a lot of intel from the camera. If he's in the nighttime on your corn pond or trail, like, I'm not gonna hunt there. Like, unless it's a rut, he may show up on a doe, but you know, I might go 100 yards further or a different direction, and there could be something completely different. Like the deer I killed not last year, the year before, my friend had him on the other property, only 5 or 6, maybe it was like 700 yards away, which is nothing for a deer. Like, a lot in August and October up until November where I killed him, just on trails and stuff. And I had a corn pond I was feeding, not pressure, not hunting at all. Like I said, 700 yards away. I never had him once, but I ended up killing him half a mile away, or maybe it was a mile away on the same property. I forget what it was. I never had a picture of him where I killed him or anything.
Wow.
But it just goes to show that they're, just because you don't have anything doesn't mean he's not right around the corner. No. Yeah. I actually only had one picture of that deer in between both the spot I killed him and where my friend had him on a corn pile, just one time. But like, I hunted him on the corn because he was there, but I didn't stay there because I hunted it twice. He never showed back up, wasn't on camera, so I was just bebopping around different spots. And the day I actually killed him was on like a water hole because it was hot. It was just 74 degrees that day in November. I killed him, but the temperature dumped a lot. That's actually one thing I learned. Like, a lot of guys, like my dad would be like, "Oh, it's too hot, I'm not going today." Like, 74 is hot, right? 60 is hot in the rut, but I've seen a lot on cameras and friends kill big deer, seen people kill big deer when it's a hot day, but it doesn't matter. It could be 100 that day. What I learned is, first of all, go in the rut every day you can, where, not the same spot, but as much as you can. But if the temperature dumps like 30 degrees or 20 degrees, it could be 100. If it goes down to 70 that night, oh, you better believe they're moving. That's what I've noticed. That day was 74, and I think it dumped down to like 58 that night.
Wow.
Or 55. It was going to be, maybe it was lower, but it was, yeah, it might have been the 40s. Yeah, something crazy like that. It's 30 to 40 degrees. It dumped, and that's when they start moving, I've noticed. So I realized, you don't worry about that daytime temperature. Just look at the change. It's going to happen, and that helped me a lot, because I used to sit at home all the time or be doing something else and not hunting when it was warm. But
and then the deer you killed this year, you hang and hunt too, right?
yeah, the first one 2 years ago wasn't hanging up. This year's was sorry, I had a headache. This year was hang and hunt. I mean, I was only 30 yards from the stand a permanent stand, but I only have one picture of this one too, actually. And it was on a corn. It was just a spot that I corned just to have something to just see what's coming by. Just a spot for me, or if I bring Lindsay or Levi or whatever, or if my dad wants to shoot a doe or whatever. But he ended up showing up once, and I was like, you know what, I bet you, I hunted the night before, 2 nights before, and I saw a younger deer, it was only 120 inch deer maybe, go not down, almost downwind of the corn on the trail that is there too. Like, I like to hunt not just the corn pond in the middle of nowhere, like I want to be in some action regardless. but he's a young deer and he didn't even come to the corner. What, like, dude, if a deer that young isn't coming in, he's just skirting it, then you know the big ones are doing it too. So it's like, I'm gonna hunt on the other side of it on that trail, and I ended up doing it 2 mornings later. And this year, I don't even think was going to the corn. He was skirting, looking at it when I shot him. He came downwind of it, and he was going to go into my wind if I was at the other tree. I was like hunting where they come from, the side where they come from, which I never would have done that. I never would have been in the area. I would have been hunting this on the northeast wind, maybe north wind, but it was west, southwest, or west, and I was like, my wind's blowing into their bedding or where they're coming from, whatever it is. But I gotta risk it. And he came from that direction, but up to the northeast a little bit, and I had just been south of where he's coming from enough that it worked out. And he was skirting the edge of the corn, and I just made it happen. But I don't know, if I was in the other stand, I probably would have got winded before he got in there. And if not, it would have been like a quarter and 2, like 35-yard shot. And I know that doesn't sound far. Like a lot of people shoot 100, 120 yards nowadays, but like I shoot 100 all the time, and shooting a target at 100 is easier to me than shooting a deer quarter and 2 that's alert at 35 yards. You got to split pins, and when I split my pins, he's moving. There's a lot of crap going on. You're not like aiming at a dot on a target at 100 yards. You can sit there all day long and just aim and aim and aim or whatever.
It's usually low light, last minute.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the pines where there's a lot of ceiling cover. That's a hard shot, I think. I mean, maybe not for some people. Like, I can do it, but I'd rather him be 20 broadside or quarter away and not paying attention.
Hell yeah.
But I noticed a lot of things, like in the woods. Like, you should like I started practicing in the woods a lot more because I'd shoot the deer target 60 yards. That's easy. I'm shooting it, or 100. Like, you got all the sunshine on it. But once you get in the woods, 26 yards seems like 70. Sometimes when it's like darker and it's a doe or something like that, and you're like, wow, my pin is covering this whole deer. How is that possible? I'm just looking at the target last night, and it was like I could pick the tiniest spot.
That was one of the questions that I was going to ask you is, do you rehearse this time of year going into the season? Do you actually you said that you practice at your distances and whatnot, so you're shooting from your tree, but do you carry in your pack and rehearse setting it up?
I haven't this year, but in the past I haven't shot from a tree in a year or two, but I used to, and I'll put a target in the shade for sure, and shoot really far, and practice shooting fast if I have to, like a controlled shot, but fast, it's never picture perfect, right? Sometimes you have to rip through it, you gotta go. So I'll practice a fast shot, and I'll practice holding it forever. I do that a lot, hold it for a long time, see if I can do 2-3 minutes. It sucks, but it'll help you. But yeah, I haven't done, maybe in November I'll put a big jacket on and some gloves or something dumb, and maybe a face mask. If I really try not to wear a face mask when I'm shooting a thin one, I will, but I'll rehearse that to get, because it's different with a jacket on, a big jacket,
Dude, everything's
trying
different.
to rip that thing back, and if you're trying to shoot heavyweight and wearing a harness, there's a lot going on there.
I was going to say,
try and wear minimal.
That was why I was going to ask you the question, because the other day, this time of year, I'm in the stand rehearsing, just kind of getting through the motions and remembering things, and I made the biggest rookie mistake. I don't know what kind of sight you have, but mine's a dial sight. So the last shot I made the day before was at 85 yards, I think, and so I'm in the stand, and I'm so focused on what's going on around this. The harness is on, I'm sweating, it's hot, and I range the target, and I'm kind of standing up real quiet, and I sit there and whatever, go through the whole motions, and pull it back at 43 yards, shoot right over its back. And I forgot to dial my sight back to 60 to where all my fixed pins
are set for 20 to 60 or whatever.
Exactly. So hunting mode for me is to dial my sight to 60, and then I know from that 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 is all dialed in.
Yeah.
But that was one of those things where I was like, well, just learn that mistake, and I'm glad I did it now versus on a doe or something early season and shoot right over its back. So.
It's the best when someone does that in my shop.
They just shoot the ceiling or
smoke the plywood up above the target because they forgot to put their sight back. But when you said that, it's funny, last year, I remember the next day you text me, just shot with my face mask or whatever, because I just didn't think about it until all those till you're in there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the mosquitoes are terrible.
Even just being prepared for that, dealing with the feeling of the mosquitoes on you. You know, that's a lot too, man.
You can't replicate that.
No, you can't. But you can run through the motions and get your. For me, it's even just getting my bow and my I carry a backpack with like water and things like it. It's woods, whatever. To get that in the stand with your rope and just making sure that you run through the motions multiple times to where it's fluid when you're in there and you're quiet doing it. So that's kind of what I've been thinking about. It's exciting. It's fueling the fire to be in the woods this time of year. So it's that early season prep that just get me fired up. So
I'll shoot far this time of year, but like you were saying about moving your sight, I've done it on target a couple times. Not one I don't ever do it on deer, but what I've gotten the habit of doing is I'll shoot far in the summer or in February, through the summer. I shoot a 5-pin 20-60 XL with a slider too. So my bottom pin, my 60-yard pin, is my rover, so I can shoot to. I think I have it sighted at 100. Maybe not even right now, but I did have it. I can go to 100. But in the off season, I'll practice, stretch it out, do stupid stuff like that. Like just walk back and be like, all right, that's 76 yards, and check it. But because it's a long way, I'm not trying to lose that many yards. Sometimes, within 50, I won't check it. I'll just shoot, kind of guessing, because that's another thing I don't know how many, if people really think about, but you can have your pin set and be like, oh, I shoot 20, 30, 40, but especially if you're pin gap and 33 yards, with how my arrow flies, I can put 30 right behind the shoulder and it'll fall right in his heart, and if he ducks, it's going to be in the lunge, right? But I practice weird numbers because 35, I split my 30 and 40. 37 is kind of a weird one, and 43 because it's getting where my bow's slowing down. So I really kind of hone in on them, especially in hunting season. So hunting season, I'll shoot maybe one arrow a day, and that'll be my arrow. I'm walking out and pretending target. If I'm shooting a deer target, I'm like, that's 150 shot. I'm pretending he's moving out. I'll stop him and try and get, because I can actually get get a little excited and be nervous about. It's kind of like shooting in front of people. You kind of a big group or shooting a deer. You get jittery. So I try and control that and practice that at 43 yards, because you don't really expect that to happen if you're hunting a corn pond or whatever, or a trail that's at 20 or 30. So I try and rehearse all that. But what I do is I'll shoot far in the spring and the off season, but starting this next month, that dial never moves. I'm shooting 20 through 60. That's it. Because I'm not shooting. If I'm shooting over 60 yards, I'll be out west or something. 99% of the time I'm in the woods here. I'm not shooting that far. I can do it. I have it set there and I do it and I practice it. But in hunting season, I don't move it because if I forget. But my deal is I always put it back if I do move it to 60 when I'm done shooting that night or whenever. But I try not to move in season, and I practice those 60 and in, because 99% of the time it's going to be 25 or less. But I want to know where I can be at 43, 47, 45, weird numbers. So I'll just focus on pin gapping and practicing them, because that's what my shot's going to be. And one shot today, the one that counts, because when you shoot deer, it's usually just one. So I don't do a lot of volume in the hunting season, especially because your strength and stretch shooting a lot. And people might think it's crazy, but if you shoot a lot, I've had to move my sight a lot. It might be partly me not shooting correctly that day or being tired or whatever, but I've had to move my sight to chase stuff, because I'm also trying to hit a tiny dot at 40 or 50. And if it's not close, really close, I get mad. I'm just chasing it. But I learned just shoot a couple arrows. That's all that matters that time of year anyways. And the off season, you get your numbers in. But it's just like muscle memory. After you do it enough, you kind of are I can, you're comfortable.
I'm glad you started doing 1 or 2 arrows a day in the hunting season. So now you're not calling me.
It's horrible.
Dude, I didn't move my sight again. He'll just go through his
string garbage.
I've done it. I've been there too, where I shoot so many times that you're right, they stretch. We had mine stretch one time. You noticed that the speed knock was so far up, almost touching the cam.
Really?
It was almost gonna pop off the freaking bow.
Was it a weight?
Was it what?
A weight?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the problem. It wasn't. It wasn't the string brand. I won't mention that. But no, that's cool.
Yeah, you're the only bow that's ever happened to. But he shoots 38.5 inch draw length, so that's probably
That's
why.
crazy.
Yeah, I shoot
Now,
a
what
lot
are you,
too.
31 3/4?
Yeah, that's 31.5. I can't remember.
Fucking 8.
Yeah.
The best thing to do is just shoot a lot of deer.
Yeah.
Because I noticed I could shoot like far really good, like shoot really well, and then like I've had years I go out and just whiff like close or whatever, just because it's completely different. That target is nothing compared to like it gets your mechanics down, but in the heat of the moment that can all go out the window. You got to know how to shoot a deer and be comfortable with it. It's hard.
It's very hard because you can't rehearse that.
Yeah.
One of the things last year is after I shot my big deer, I was in the woods and like the next day because I'd already.
Emphasize big deer.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I know you didn't do that on purpose.
Well, the one deer I was after, I should say. The next day, I had another just hammer come in, and I thought I had to wait the two does. I know I've said this 100 times, but
What?
the Maryland has now changed it to where you can shoot two bucks back to back.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
Well,
before you're hunted. So where'd you get that from him?
He
No,
used to
no,
rifle hunt. He
I just
texted me after, and I was like, dude, no.
Bigger
anyhow,
than that?
it was bigger or equivalent. It was a hammer, back to back the next day. Same exact
spot?
time, same exact spot, same exact everything. Just exactly the same. It was like I was reliving the same thing over and over. And I
That'd be
stood
nice.
up and I was like, well, I want to shoot him, but I thought, like I said, I read the law wrong, and I just was under the assumption I couldn't shoot it. Some people would just tag two does just manually in their phone and then take that deer. I wasn't, I wasn't going to do that. Well, I'm sitting there and I didn't draw, but I had my bow, and I'm thinking, well, I'm just going to use this as a learning experience and get my heart rate to come under control. So I was able to sit there and get it settled while I'm looking at this just hammer stud. And it was pretty eye-opening for me. I mean, I passed it. Everyone else probably would have shot it. It's fine. But the point is I was able to understand that in the moment that you think everything is going so fast, you can slow down for that split second and really, you have more time than you think you do. I guess that's the point of my story.
Yeah, you always have. It's crazy.
I know, but in the heat of the
To an
moment,
extent.
you see this
There's
giant,
situation.
as everything lines up, and you're like, well, I got to make a shot. Before sometimes, I didn't even range mine. I knew he's at 20 yards, but, you can do some double check, triple checking before you let that thing rip, And it was just a nice reminder to me that I know that you do need to make it happen fast to make it a success, but at the same time, I think we forget we have more time than what we think we do. So it's easy to get caught up in your own thoughts. So
Yeah.
point is learning experience.
Your head makes you like, oh, most big deer are on edge like 10 times more than anything. Even the smartest doe, they're just like every move they make is so methodical. But so you're already thinking like, or at least me, I'm like, oh, he knows I'm here. He knows what's going on. He can't see me, but he knows I'm here. Very rarely are they like super calm. I mean, if you have a really unpressured place and you have them coming and your wind's right and everything's right, but a lot of times they're on edge, especially around here. There's so much pressure. So you're in your head. You're like, he's not even gonna get in here. I gotta shoot him. Or even if he gets in here, it's just he's gonna push something off the corner, or he's gonna run by me on this trail. But that's another thing I really did learn, just like to slow down. Like once you get in your head, it is hard. It sounds way easier than it actually is. But if you rush it, this is how I put it. If you rush it, you're gonna mess up. Something's gonna happen. So if you just take your time, if he walks away, it sucks for a minute, or maybe that day or a week, whatever. But it's way better than running through the woods following a blood trail or missing him. Missing him's not as big a deal as this, but following a blood trail for a mile or two because you rushed it, and you never know, he could have stood there broadside for 5 minutes looking the other way.
Right. I guess that was the point of my thing was I had way more time than I thought.
That's why I shoot a hinge. Everyone thinks, a lot of people think like, you shoot a hinge deer hunt, but like I can make it happen fast. Like I did it this year, I spine, whatever. It was kind of because of that, but he also took a step as I was pulling through. But I pulled through faster to make it happen. I can shoot it fast, but though my whole reason behind that is, I'd rather take my time and roll that thing off, squeeze it off, or wait than me slapping the trigger or like just trying to make it happen. I still can, like I said, but it slows me down it's way better for me at least, because you shouldn't be taking that shot, I feel like, if it's rushed anyways. And it goes to the other side, like I was saying, you gotta risk it sometimes. Like I have one friend that's killed a lot of big deer, and he, he'll shoot it. Like he's gonna make the shot, and sometimes it works. But sometimes it can hurt you. It's hurt me more than it's worked, so I haven't done it. But now that I can shoot a little bit faster and more comfortable, I'll do it. But yeah, I feel like that patience is the most important thing when you're trying to make it happen, because you can get down a scary road if you don't.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Just slow down.
What are some things that you're thinking about right now to get in the hunting mode? Like, are you setting your bow up or doing anything differently? Or are you just, tuning arrows? What are some things that you're doing currently?
I'm shooting like 3 different arrows right now. I don't know why, because one was fine from last year, but I'm playing with, they're both the same weight pretty much, within 4 or 5 grains, but I put a different vein on one because they were lighter, and it allowed me to put 60 grains insert up front. So I have, the arrow weighs the same overall, but one has 60 grains up front and the insert instead of the factory 12 or 16 or 18, whatever Easton factory insert is.
16.
Yeah, because I wanted to see, like my 430 grain axis is with the A stealths, and shoot a sever. It's like 430. Yeah, it's 430 exactly, 429. It flies really good. Like I shoot 100 yards, good groups, right? And even with fixed heads, like I like to shoot a fixed head to see your imperfections, and if I can tune it with that and shoot all of that, I know that expandable's gonna fly right, But I wanted to see if I could be even more accurate with more weight up front, not crazy amount of weight, but more weight up front. And I've got like it's actually a different arrow too, so it's not like the best test, but it's a RIP TKO with 60 grains and 100 grain broad up front. So it's got a 160 up front with 3 tack vanes, 275 drivers on the back, and a nocturnal. Whereas I never shot nocturnals till now, or lighted nocks. And the other one's the Easton Axis with 118 up front. You say it's 18?
16.
116 up front, and 380 stealths in the back. And they're real quiet and fly good too. But I think it's hard because like I'll shoot 3 of the tacks first, and then it'll group well, and then 3 of the stealths and the axis second, and I might be tired or more tired than my first 3 shots, so I'll try and alternate it. But it seems like in my head that the attacks are grouping a little bit better down around. I'm shooting at like 80 to 100 yards and seeing what's going on. But I haven't even sighted in. I mean, the bow's sighted in for a 430 grain arrow. These are like 437 now, so it's not much. But I haven't really dialed in from 20 to 60. I'll do that later. I'm just shooting at distance to see what group's the best right now. And then when I decide the arrow, which I think I'm gonna go with that RIP TKO, I'm gonna do 60 to 20, like get it perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually have to change, because I went to lighted nocks. I got to change my which I probably won't do for like a couple of days before the season, because I always do that. But my knock sets and my D-loop has to be a little bit bigger for that, so I'm not, which I haven't done that.
Mm-hmm.
It's shooting good now, but I think I'm shooting a light knock so I can see it flying straight. I'm gonna like I paper tuned the bow, but I haven't done it since I switched all this up. I'm just praying it's right, but the knock looks like it's spinning right and it's grouping well. So if people go down that rabbit hole of like, oh, you gotta do this helical, this spine, and paper tuner, bear shaft and all that BS. Yeah, it's cool and all, but like if that thing's grouping 100 yards, I might be losing a little speed if it's corrected itself, whatever. I mean, it's flying good.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have to check it one more time after he does this knock set.
I can't.
But he's gonna tell me I need a new string or something because the servings are split. I'm gonna get him to do the knock set, and then I'll sight it in.
He'll be in there for a knock set for like 2 hours.
Yeah, thank God for Dallas setting us up.
But yeah, I go off of what it looks like downrange and how it feels and stuff. I will paper tune, but I'm not gonna do bear shaft tuning really, or anything crazy like I used to, or like a lot of people change arrows every year. I'm changing them, I guess, but
But you know what's funny is like
all that doesn't matter. If it's shooting good, it's shooting good. I mean,
you have him on that extreme.
Oh yeah.
And you're close to it, and then you
In the
have
middle.
yeah, you're not as extreme, but you are with your shooting. You practice every day, and then you have 80%, 90% of the people that walk in my shop and like, I got these gold tips, and I got these Easton 6.5s and these axes, and they got like 3 different arrows in their quiver.
still shoot bigger, more deer than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Like, but the difference is,
I like messing with that stuff regardless of what happens.
But in their mind, they're putting in their head, I don't know if this is them, some of them just don't realize the magnitude of the difference of arrows and how much really goes into it and how much it actually matters. And then some of them are like, wow, I didn't put that much into it if I miss a deer or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Whereas him, he's crossing all his T's, dotting his I's to where he knows that
it wasn't that arrow.
if he did everything he could,
It wasn't this. It wasn't that. It was me.
okay, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? I did everything I could, so in his mind, he can't beat himself up.
Makes sense.
And I'm sure I could take like the stock or Easton's, whatever he has there with the Blazers, and shoot a pretty good group at close to the same or maybe better than what I'm building myself at 80, 100 yards. But like every little thing I've researched, I guess, or experimented with is for a reason. Like I left the certain vein to go to the vein I'm shooting now because they're way quieter, and it's not because someone told me. I mean, there is results on how loud certain veins are, but I had a friend stand behind my truck or the house at like 60 yards, and I said which one was louder. He said that was 10 times as loud, and it was so I switched. I'm doing it for a reason.
We just did that the other day, messing around.
Yeah.
We were here shooting and listening.
Yeah, because to me, like there's that war between speed and weight of arrow, and I'm like cut in the middle. But most of the guys who are like for that heavy arrow, like bigger, I'm smaller. They're like, oh, you gotta have arrow. Like, yeah, no duh. Like
They don't matter. Him, like, it
you
doesn't
can
matter.
shoot
You can
a
shoot
700
whatever
grain
you
arrow,
want.
not really.
But the 90% of people, you have to have that happy medium, because I'm guessing what you're going to get into is a deer can duck your arrow at 15 yards. So if you're shooting 700 grains at a 60-pound bow, what's it matter? You know what I mean?
And it does. Like,
You're not going to hit where you're aiming anyways.
Yeah, there's two sides of it. Like it does, like Danny was saying, he's like, dude, your bow's gonna be so much quieter as you have here, which it is quieter, so maybe they don't hear it. And like people shoot recurves and kill deer all the time, but you're not shooting pins. You're shooting a 700 grain arrow, but you're not shooting pins. You're shooting at 15 yards. You have no option. There's no like 80-yard shot, which I'm not gonna really do here out west. I would all day long, but if he's at 45 and I'm shooting a 500 or 600 grain arrow, like I don't even know if I'll be able to shoot that. Like maybe my pin will be all the way down. I have to move my dial and play with that. I want to be right in the middle. I'm shooting 430. People kill elk with 430, but like it's different when you are a 240 pound dude shooting 30 inches and 70 pounds. That's like someone pitching 100 versus someone pitching 60. It's a whole different game. Like you have a lot more play as long as you can get your arrow spine stiff enough to hold up that weight you can put up front or however heavy your arrow is. But for me, I'm like right on the edge of like how heavy I can go. Yeah, I can go 450 or 500, but I just like my pin gap. I'm comfortable with it. I know at 50 or 47 yards, I put the 50 on its heart. Like I know that. Whereas if I go heavier, I'm gonna have to redo everything. That's just me, but it all works. I have a friend that's my size that shoots the same weight and draw length, and he shoots 5 something, and he mows them down. But he shoot them close. I think if I have to shoot one far,
Yeah.
Like I said, 90% of the time I'm under 20 yards. But
the happy medium, if you have a gold tip Hunter XT, which everyone has shot around here for years, your bow's gonna be louder, but it's gonna be quicker. So you're kind of canceling them out. And then if you have too heavy of an arrow, your bow's gonna be quieter, but then it's gonna be slow and they can duck it. So yeah, in between, too many people are YouTube gearheads watching the ranch fairy shoot pigs and
Yeah, you gotta shoot really good before you start playing with stuff, I feel like.
One of the things that I wanted to ask was...
it doesn't matter. I have a friend who shoots bigger deer than all of us with a recurve, so none of it matters. It's like shooting rebar through the woods, killing stuff. Stupid.
Dude,
serious. Like big stags and big whitetails, yeah.
Practice is all that matters.
Yeah.
Not all, but...
Yeah, being a good woodsman.
The only thing that it goes into effect is when you put a broadhead on there. Like if you're shooting a fixed blade, any broadhead really, then your tuning really comes into play. If you're just talking about strictly shooting a bow,
I like shooting a fixed blade.
Practice.
Quiet, nice one.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, one of the things that I wanted to ask was, do you use a hunting app? And if so, which one? And what's your thoughts on technology in the woods?
I wish we didn't have trail cameras or the phone deal. Horrible. Until you get like lost or hurt and you need the phone to just magically appears. But
I think it would show people that could actually hunt too. You know,
honestly, I think I was more excited to go deer hunting. Like I said, I like talking about it more. And actually hunting, when I was younger, I just remember getting picked up from school and going hunting. You don't know, like could be a mythical ghost in the freaking woods for all you know. Like anything could show up. Now you're like, cool, dude. I have nothing on camera, and I know, like we talk about, don't go off the camera, but you know, unless it's a rut, 99% of the deer that are around you've maybe seen once, or your neighbor told you about. Like now we know, like we don't know, but like there's nothing really to go for. Where back in the day, I was like, you hear stories about, oh, you saw a giant, whatever a giant was back then, but it's only 300 yards for you or 800 yards, and you never know what can happen. But I just feel like it makes it not as exciting.
Well, how about an app though? Like, do you use like a HuntWise or?
Yeah, I use HuntStand and Onyx. I pay for HuntStand. Onyx I like better because for what is it I like better for?
Aztec.
You can, or now you can do it. Yeah, you could share a pin. I used to be able to share it, even though I didn't pay for it. I couldn't figure out how to share a pin on HuntStand. I don't even know if I can. I think you can. You can share a track. I like it now, but I couldn't figure it out, or they didn't have it. But you could share your location or a pin on HuntStand, and I couldn't on Onyx. But now I have both, and I guess you can do it with both. I want to get the Spartan 4, just don't feel like paying for another app.
Yeah, well, I've just seen a couple apps.
I think it's pretty nice though.
The one that intrigued me was one that showed like your wind direction. So if you're in your stand, it's actually depicting on your phone which way your wind's blowing. Not that you can't figure that out, but I just think that's cool. Like if you know, throughout the day it's going to change or whatever, it kind of gives you an idea. So
I'll do that because a lot of times we're like, oh, it's blowing northwest. This spot is, you know, on the edge for northwest. But then I'll look at the app and it'll be like, well, you're actually facing a little bit more this way, and northwest is actually hurting you more than you thought it was, so maybe go somewhere else. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think HuntStand is good for the images are more detailed. It's like Onyx they have like this overlay on it, especially on public land. It's like this green, clear tint, so you can't see the trails as much. If we're talking about the marsh, HuntStand is so much easier to see. Like I can literally look on my phone and see trails from the air.
yeah, it's badass.
Which is cool.
For Aztec, I'll use or any marsh steel. I'll actually use Google Earth, HuntStand, and Onyx.
Yeah, I use
and that's
HuntStand and Onyx. I use both there.
Because the photos, imageries from different years sometimes, or dates, so you can see trail. Like there's a couple spots on Aztec you can't see on either of them actually. You can't see the little meadow that I was hunting. I just found in person, and maybe Google Earth showed it actually, but I was like, there's nothing there. But I got there and I'm like, wow, you can't see it on any of these apps, but on in person or Google Maps or whatever it ended up being.
Yeah, it's impressed me. I watched him use HuntStand last year, and he was pinpointing trees that I thought he'd been to, and he was like, no, I've never been there, but this is a good tree. I'm like, okay, I'll go try it, and sure enough, it's a good tree. So
yeah, you start to kind of understand based off like the canopy and the shading, and Aztec's different.
You really have a pine tree that's all you're going up, so it's kind of easy to see the green.
yeah, no, but you know,
Yeah, but some of them are small.
Yeah,
but it might not have a big, you know, the tree trunk might be, you know, full of stuff to get up to it too.
Yeah.
So that's, I don't know, just lucky, I guess. But
yeah, it's just doing it and having the boots on the ground, I guess. And going, I guess the reason is I've been to spots where I thought I'd marked a tree and I thought I could get up, and then I got there and I couldn't. So that made me confirm, okay, that a tree like that, not going to work. So when I showed you whatever, I can't remember scenario that you're talking about, I was like, this is a tree. It's probably because I failed a bunch of times or a couple times from an imagery, and then I got my boots on the ground. It didn't work, so now I can, you know what I mean. But
sometimes you don't have a tree though. You just gotta, especially over there, it's on the ground.
I've done that.
No, it hasn't really worked for me.
Me neither.
But
tried it once.
Sometimes that's where you gotta go.
I had a choice. Sun was falling. I was like, well, I better get in the stand at least. I said it like what, a foot off the ground? No, whatever.
Yeah.
5 feet off the ground. But
I've been in a myrtle bush this fall
really?
before. Yeah.
Whatever works. My last question is I just noticed when I shoot my bow target season or whatever 3D season with a back bar and no quiver. So and whatever, a couple of little details like a one of those jack slings I used to carry it through the woods. Whatever. So I switch it over to hunt mode, quiver back on it, no back bar.
That'll be good.
Well, I'm just curious.
I go both ways. You'll like my answer to this one.
I'm shooting with my quiver on, and I'm no back bar, so I'm just pulling right or whatever. I'm grouping right, so I'll adjust it. I've only shot once or twice since then. But my question is when you get to the tree stand, do you leave your quiver on your bow or do you hang it on your tree?
I take it off every time.
Okay.
But I used to keep it on, and like 3 of the best shots that I know, and they kill the most deer of everyone I know, they hunt with the quiver on. Will Hastings, his dad who passed away, Randy, and Danny Calloway, they all hunt with the quiver on. And I've shot 3D tournaments with them. Well, actually, Will and I won one. I had my quiver off, but he had his on. That's when I started to take it off just because it felt way better. And it does help. It's a lot lighter.
It's significantly heavier, man.
But like those guys say, you just shoot good. You start shooting, you shoot a lot. Like, you do it all the time. It's kind of like you can figure it out. Like you said, you adjust for it. You're not shooting a 3D tournament for money, a lot of money on the line. You're shooting a big deer, which matters too. But if you get used to it, you can shoot those Easton, the 6.5s or whatever. Shoot not the worst arrow. It's not a bad arrow, but like the lowest end arrow and bow. And if you're good, you're going to put them in there and kill stuff. 350 grain arrow or 80 grain arrow, you can still kill stuff if you hit them right. Yeah, those guys hunt with quivers on all the time and kill a lot of stuff, shoot far, shoot really well. Like I said, Will and I won a 3D tournament one time. He had his quiver on. I don't even know what I was
shooting. Max that you were shooting.
No.
Yeah,
it was
right?
A red one. What's it called? RX one.
Yeah.
It's a good bow, but I wasn't shooting one on. But I got second with Craig from Whitetail Outpost with a quiver on, a wrist strap, and punching the trigger, full on target panic. And smoked everyone, besides one person. But it's just you get used to doing whatever, and you don't need to shoot without it. But now I do shoot without it because I did it one time, and I like to dabble and find what's better. And it just feels so smooth and nice. The only thing I don't like is reaching for that arrow when you have to get another shot in. But my thing is it helps you shoot better, so you shouldn't have to do that. But of course, this year I shot that deer 9 yards and had to get another arrow in, and I had it. Like acetate, is it gonna break you?
We did upgrade the chairs. They're cushion wise.
But I do practice with it on. Like, I'll grab that thing full broad, quiver full, and be like, okay, that target's, walk out of the garage at 53 yards. Range so I don't lose my arrow and be like 54 or sometimes there. And I'll shoot with the quiver on and shoot fast. Like I just stopped him. Like we talked earlier, I'll do that stuff because I want to be able to shoot no matter what I have set up, because it's never a perfect scenario. So yeah, I'll shoot with it on, and an ASTI especially I'll shoot with it on because like he said, you're in a Merkle bush and you're shooting close range normally. So that little stuff may matter at 100 yards. You're shooting a 3D tournament, you're trying to hit a quarter at 45 yards with no rangefinder, but that's just not the case on the beach.
Yeah.
Or 90% of the time around here, shooting deer under 30 yards, it doesn't really matter. But it is definitely lighter and feels better. And I shoot a back bar with no quiver. But like you could set your bow up with a back bar that's walked over enough that with a quiver, it does sit like a bounce bow, like perfectly with no quiver and a back bar feels amazing to me.
Mm-hmm.
But you could set it up to be perfectly balanced with the quiver on still. It's just going to be a heavier bow.
Right.
But the weight doesn't really matter, especially if you're strong enough to hold it. My bow's heavier. I'm on ground. It's like, dude, this thing is so heavy, but like it's like solid, you know?
Mm-hmm. I guess my point with the back bar off and the quiver on is it's more friendly to carry into tighter spaces because that bar sticks off to the side to counteract the weight of the quiver. So that's why I got it, was to counteract.
Well, how long is it?
Bar? 12 inch. So it's not super
The
long.
back bar?
No, not the back bar.
Mm,
Your back bar's 8 or 10.
maybe, I don't know.
That one's
I hunted
12.
a full season with
Yeah, so it's probably 10.
I hunted a full season with a 10-inch back bar and a 15-inch front bar.
Okay.
That's a lot going on.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
a
a
lot.
damn orb coming through the woods.
But when you're just carrying it through those thick bushes and you're, on the ground, on your knees,
Yeah.
climbing through these bushes and whatnot, it just seemed to me where...
It was
just,
a lot.
Yeah, and also just setting my bow down in my truck or whatever, in the case, you gotta... I don't know. It's easier, and it's less things for my rope to grab onto and pull in the stand.
Hitting limbs, like that's why I took it off, because hitting limbs and walking through the woods and in the truck, but like I could lay it down way better and feel like it wouldn't hit the sight. I liked it because of that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I hunted a full season, it was fine, but this past year I took it off and hunted with a 10-inch front bar and a 11 and 7, still with a back bar, but it's way more compact, and that's all. I'm shooting go with it, so I just kept it. But like if I went out west, I'd probably tune it and put the long stuff back on, just because it doesn't matter. And like if you're stalking, you can put the length of my arrow is short enough. Yours might not work because it's probably a lot longer than mine, but I could put my stabilizer in the dirt and the arrow broadhead would still be above it and not hit it, and I could kind of rest it there and take a break if I'm like stalking or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked it because of that, but I don't think it's necessary. It's just I was tinkering with stuff.
Yeah, I guess it's all probably a personal preference. I was just curious to what you do, and then kind of thinking about what I do, and if I should maybe get a little better.
I left the back bar on for hunting because mine now only sticks like this far off the string, so it's not really in the way at all. The other one was like 6 inches off. But I hunted a whole season and shot a whole season with no quiver on and a back bar, and I was like, let me see what this thing does, because I could never tell with the quiver on and no back bar what it was doing. So I took the back bar off and I videoed myself the first time I ever drew back for like 6 months with no back bar, and I drew back and I got to anchor and the bow tilted over like a recurve just naturally because my muscles weren't used to fighting it. So that when you, like, if you don't have a back bar, you fight it all the time. You don't realize how much strength they're using or muscles you're using to keep that thing plumb.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at a longer range that you're fighting and you're not as accurate. But if you get used to it and you do it a lot, it's fine.
Ask one random question, but if you could go back between like from all your hobbies and everything you've done, surfing, skating, hunting, fishing, is there one thing that you would dabble more in or wish you put more time in or stayed in longer, whether it be fishing, hunting, surfing, whatever it may be, or are you kind of content with?
I'm cool where I'm at. No, it's there's a the surfing thing I could have went further with and probably competed maybe professionally or whatever, but I don't know, sometimes like, dang, why didn't I do that? But then other times like, no, then I wouldn't be able to go marlin fishing more, or surfing or hunting or whatever. So no, I kind of just wish I hunted more when I was younger, actually, if anything.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Like, people don't really realize, unless you're like I don't know, you have enough money in the world to where you don't need to work or worry about spending too much time with the kids and family. Before you have kids, you don't realize how much time you have. And yeah, if you're hunting every day with kids, it's like, I don't know how you do it, but I guess that's what you're getting at. Is like you wish you realized how much more time you had before you had kids and capitalize on it.
Yeah, that, and I wish I would have learned a trade earlier.
Yeah.
And then school was cool. I actually learned a lot more in college than I did in high school. I actually applied myself, but it's weird. But I guess that's the opposite of most people. Well, maybe not, but yeah, I wish I learned a trade and I could have been, my age now and had my own business rolling, and I started from scratch, that I learned from someone and started up, but and had more of an established business going. But I don't know, it's all the same. You wish if you were there. If I was there, maybe I wish I was here.
Right.
No.
That's the truth.
It is what it is.
That is absolutely the truth.
I don't know. Either way is fine with me as long as I get.
As long as you can go try to kill a big deer. That's all you care about.
Care if I don't see one or whatever.
I'll know what to try.
Around the woods.
Well, cool. Well, so we got out of it was that you don't care as long as you're here hunting whitetails in the fall.
Specifically here on the Eastern Shore.
Yeah.
I love it.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
Dude, I thoroughly enjoyed your time, man. Thanks for coming in and hanging out. And
Yeah.
hopefully we can get this one fired up and get it out.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Peace.
See ya.